So for my Main Street USA project, I decided to come to Frankfort, Kentucky. Main Street in Frankfort has a blend of old historic buildings like the James Gerard House and a mix of newer businesses as you go further down the street. Today we're going to be walking, looking at some of the different buildings and seeing what Main Street Frankfort has to offer. Starting here on the corner of Wilkinson and Main, you have the First Presbyterian Church, the Gerard Crittenden House. Down that way is the Kentucky Bar Association. And here we have Liberty Hall. Liberty Hall was owned by Senator John Brown, and it entertained multiple presidents, politicians of the state, including the General Lafayette. So, we're going to look around and see what we can see. It's a nice sunny afternoon here in Frankfort. Walking down the street here with my girlfriend Quinn. Say hi. She's just happy to be along for the ride. Over here we have the First Presbyterian Church. It was founded in the year 1816. Walking along further down Main Street, we've got several old houses, some of which have been converted into law offices. Some are still in use as private residences. Right here on the corner of West Main and Washington, we have another house that was owned by Senator, later Governor Crittenden. It's now a law office for Bowman Harp, attorneys at law. And as we cross Washington Street, we just start to see more commercial use. And right here on the other side of Washington Street, we have the Moorhead House, built for Charles Moorhead, who was the second member of the Moorhead family to be governor of Kentucky. Right across from the Moorhead House, we have what's called the John Goodman House. No relation to the actor. He was a prominent furniture maker here in Frankfort in the late early 1800s. The house was originally a federal style. Says that there was a renovation done in 1900 where they added a lot of the ornamental decorations. And now we start to see more of a blending of residential and commercial. You have a private residence on the left, and then on the right we have the Assistant Franklin County Attorney's Office. And then here we have the Franklin County Fiscal Court building. Moving on down past the lovely named Catfish Alley, we have the County Clerk's building and the movie theater, Grand Theater. Looks like for anyone that's interested, they are getting ready to do a Rocky Horror Picture Show night. Another perfect reason to come to downtown and support your local movie theater. Right here we have Engine House Coffee, what was originally a firehouse back in the day. It's now been repurposed for a coffee shop. Unfortunately, it's closed. I could really go for a cup of coffee right now. Looks like we've got some empty storefronts, but they are in the process of being renovated for new use. And then here on the corner we have Hoggy's Ice Cream. Ice cream worth squealing for. And right here at the intersection of West Main and St. Clair Street, you have a little side street with cobblestones, a couple of taverns, and it looks like the front end of the Grand Theater, and a restaurant, subs and sandwiches on the corner, and then a tower with the name of all the bourbon distilleries in Kentucky. Got some old advertisement up on the building. Looks like a House of Commons bourbon library. Got a bakery, an old meager department store, the Manhattan restaurant that is now currently a clothing store, and then we have a few vacant properties on Main Street. But yeah, as we're walking down, and it is a Sunday afternoon, so it's a little quiet, we're seeing a wide range of shops and restaurants, buildings that have been used and reused over and over again for various purposes. Kind of more or less exactly what you'd expect for a downtown area. Apparently we have a building that used to be a fishing supply store. Right here at the intersection of Lewis and Main, you have the First Federal Savings Bank of Frankfort and the Main Street Diner. We might pop in and give it a try, see how it tastes. Okay, well, we just finished eating at the Main Street Diner, and it was diner food. Actually, it was really good. BLT. Eating healthy is well and good, but every now and then you just need something stuffed full of bacon and covered in mayo. So, we're walking along Main Street, and someone suggested to us to be sure to look up at the top of this dentist's office and see the old mortar and pestle from when it was the Averill Pharmaceutical Company. Looks like there's some mental health clinics over there. And then we have a Department of Insurance building. And as we approach here to the intersection of West Main and Ann Street, we have Whitaker Bank. Whitaker Bank seems to take pride of place here on Frankfort's Main Street. So, this Whitaker Bank used to be a Frankfort landmark called the Weisinger House or the Weisinger Tavern. Weisinger, over the years, has had multiple buildings, but in its time it hosted Zachary Taylor, James Monroe. At one point, it threw a commemorative banquet for the Marquis de Lafayette's American tour. So down there, just off of Main Street, you have the Masonic Lodge of Frankfort and a church. I can't make the name out from here. But as you continue down along Main Street, we're about at the end of it. The traditional Main Street area typically ends with that building in the distance. It used to be the State Armory and is now the Kentucky Museum of Military History. I apologize for that profusely, but I did just eat a BLT and a giant plate of fries. Down here in this building, we have Cap City Radio, the radio channel of Frankfort, Kentucky. We also have a lot of advertisements for some local events that are happening here in town, such as the Bourbon on the Banks Festival, the Oktoberfest. They have a couple of haunted attractions because it is October. So it would seem that Frankfort puts together a good slate of events throughout the year. And I believe right up the road here is the official Frankfort Visitor Center. Right here, what do we have? We have a plaque in Braille with no English equivalent. Alrighty. Let's see, we have a Goodwood Brewery and Restaurant. Downtown Family Dentistry. Some very interesting murals going on. And then right here at the end of the Main Street drag in Frankfort, we have the Hampton House. As the sign says, this is the earliest surviving stone house in the city, built sometime prior to 1840. Though probably not far off from that date. And then of course, right over there we have the bridge going over the Kentucky River. A bunch of cars passed by right as I tried to narrate. And of course, we have the Thomas D. Clark Center for Kentucky History. So, Main Street, Frankfort. It has bars, it has restaurants, it has shops, private residences, a mix of 19th and 20th century architecture. It is a Main Street community that, with a few vacancies here and there, is alive and well.